everybody. So today is day 6 of the Body by Quarantine program that we're doing. So today will be the last video for the week. If you want me to keep making these into next week, just let me know and I'll keep doing it. Today we're going to focus on mobility and stretching. I broke this kind of up into 3 groups. There's the bed group, stuff you can do first thing when you wake up in the morning. And then the seated group, so that's just stuff you can do while you're sitting around in your chair. And then standing group, so obviously standing exercise. So a little bit about stretching. So up to about 15 years ago, they used to tell people that static stretching should be done prior to exercise. All right. More recent studies have actually shown that it increases your risk of injury. There's a whole lot of physiological stuff that goes into why that is the case. But the takeaway is don't do your static, which is long duration stretching, before you exercise. Right? Before you exercise, you should be doing more light calisthenics, so just light exercise, maybe like 5 minutes on a bike, or if you have an assault bike, the one with the arms on it, just something to get your blood flowing and get the muscles warmed up a little bit. But you don't want to be doing static stretching before you exercise. So this is all stuff you should be doing after you exercise or throughout your day. All right, so our first stretches are the bed stretches. So these are good, like I said, to do first thing in the morning when you wake up. And these are also, if you can do these laying on the ground, but if you have trouble getting to the ground, then doing them in the bed is the best bet. All right. So the first one of those stretches is going to be one that you probably recognize. Most people know this one. It's called the prayer stretch. So the first thing you want to do is move your big fat dog out of the way. There we go. All right. Then you're going to come down to your knees, point your toes back behind you, sit on your heels, and then stretch your arms as far out in front of you as you can so you feel a stretch all through your back and shoulders. All right, this is a good, simple, easy stretch to relax into. All right, if you have hip or knee mobility issues, you'll probably find that you can't sit all the way back on your heels. So just go as far as you can and then just try to rest down. All right. And then you want to do this for about 2 minutes. I like the 2-minute time frame. I think it's a good, nice long stretch that helps allow you to get that plasticity. So plasticity means that you stretch it into the point where it changes and then you maintain that change. So the standard usually was about 30 seconds for people age 0 to 40. And then if you're over 40, you're supposed to stretch for a minute. I find that 2 minutes is the best. And you just need to do it 1 time instead of 3 times for 30 seconds. So the second stretch would be the single knee to chest, all right? Which is exactly like it sounds. You're gonna lay on the ground on your back, all right? You're gonna take one knee, pull it into the chest, hold for about 5 seconds, and then switch. 5 seconds, and then switch. And do this about 5 to 10 times each side. And then the last of the bed stretches is a single leg over stretch, which again, just like it sounds, you're gonna take one leg, bend the knee, let that knee fall to the opposite side, grab it with that hand, pull it down towards the floor. Try to keep your shoulder on the opposite side on the bed. All right, if you can't, you can't, but try to keep it on there. And that'll put tension on the spine. All right. And this one you want to do for 2 minutes each side. Now, if you have back problems and you can't do this stretch, this feels aggressive to you, just bend the knees, let the knees fall to one side. All right, same thing, just relax in that position. So this is not a aggressive stretch. You're just gonna let it fall and just relax. All right. So, and then 2 minutes on that side, and then 2 minutes on the other side. All right. So that should cover the bed stretches. All right, so the second set of stretches are the seated stretches. All right, so these ones are good if you're just sitting on the couch watching TV, you got nothing else to do. All go ahead and use that time to knock out some stretches. All right. So the first stretch is real simple. It's the hamstring stretch. All right. It's the back of the leg. If you have back pain, a large portion of people have back pain because of an imbalance between the hamstrings and the hip flexors, the front and the back. Most of the time, it's the hamstrings that are tight. All right. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna take one leg, stick it straight out in front of you, keep the knee locked out as much as you can. Obviously, if you have some sort of issue where you can't straighten your knee out all the way, you're just gonna relax down in that position. Then you're going to lean forward over the bent knee until you feel a stretch in the back of the hamstring, and you're gonna relax into that position for 2 minutes. So you're just gonna hang out like this for 2 minutes, which is good. Again, you're sitting at the couch, you got your Game of Thrones on or Alter Carbon or whatever it is you're watching. All right, you just hang out like that for 2 minutes. All right, then same thing on the other side. All right, you may feel this in your lower back a little bit too. That's normal. All right, but we're really focusing on getting that hamstring stretched out. So 2 minutes each side. All right, second of the seated stretches, all right, is going to be piriformis stretch. So piriformis stretch, all right, is you're gonna take one ankle, put it on the opposite knee. As you can tell, I'm not very good at this one, all right, because I have tight hips. So, and then you're gonna sit up nice and tall, try to lean forward into the stretch if you can, but you should feel this in your hip and your glute, all right? So the muscle specifically is called the piriformis, but it's really stretching all of your hip, all right? And you're gonna sit here for 2 minutes. So if that's aggressive, you can try to straighten that other leg out a little bit to take some attention off of that hip, all right? If you notice that you get a lot of pain in your back that shoots down your leg while you're doing this stretch, that may mean that you have piriformis syndrome, which means you need to do the stretch even more. So 2 minutes in this stretch, each side, all right? You're just gonna hang out there. Again, watching your favorite shows, chilling out, all right? So then the last of our seated stretches is going to be a shoulder stretch, all right? For that, what you want is a belt, or if you have a yoga strap, you can use a yoga strap. Right now I've got a belt, all right? So what you're gonna do, there's gonna be 2 different stretches per side for this. This is gonna stretch out your shoulder and rotator cuff. It's probably gonna be a tad uncomfortable, all right? You're gonna stick your hand in. You're gonna grab behind the back. You're gonna pull that arm down, all right? And you're just gonna pull down for 1 minute, all right? So you're only gonna do this 1 minute per side because 2 minutes is a little aggressive with this. If you wanna do 2 minutes, that's up to you, but you really only need to do 1 minute. So you're gonna pull down for 1 minute, all right? So pulling the shoulder over. So you can lean over to the side a little bit to make it a little more aggressive if you want to help hit that lat, so this can hit the lats and the triceps, all right? So 1 minute that way, and then once that's up, you're gonna pull up for a minute. What I found is easiest to do is just take the strap, put it on top of your head, lean your head forward a little bit. All right, this one is gonna feel, you're definitely gonna feel it in that shoulder as you pull up, all right? So this is gonna help stretch out that rotator cuff in the shoulder. So 1 minute on that side, and then you're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. 1 minute each. All right, strap goes over the head. All right, pulling down, 1 minute, pulling up, 1 minute. All right, easy enough. And then the last stretch, all right, is the standing stretch. So if you're sitting in the kitchen or doing something in, where you're standing around, you can do this stretch. It's actually pretty easy. It's almost like doing a lunge. So you're gonna take a step forward, big step, all right? Big things here, you're trying to hit the hip flexor on the back leg, all right? So you should feel it right here in the groin area. So if you're not feeling it in the groin area, what it means is you have your hips cocked off to the side. So what you wanna do is square your hips up forward, all right? And then you should start to feel it. And then to make it even more aggressive, you're gonna squeeze the glutes, all right? So rotating the pelvis forward, and that should really put tension on that hip flexor right there. So again, people with back pain, usually an imbalance between the hip flexors and the hamstrings. So you want to make sure that you're stretching both of those. All right. So you can do this for 1 to 2 minutes each side. I think 1 minute's probably as much as most people can take standing this position without getting too fatigued. So you're going to stand there for a minute. All right, relax. Same thing on the other side. Nice big step. Make sure you're squaring the hips forward, tightening the glutes until you feel tension in that groin area. And then you're going to hang out there for a minute. All right, so that is it. Those are some easy stretches that you can do either after you get done exercising or just throughout your day. Like I said, doing the stretches after you exercise is usually the optimum time to do them because your muscles are warm and you're going to get that plasticity. So when you stretch, you're going to maintain those gains better after exercise than you would before exercise. But they're also good to do first thing in the morning or throughout the day when you have time. If you have any issues, questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, go ahead and leave them in the comments. And then, like I said, this is the last visit of the week, so if you want me to keep doing these, just go ahead and let me know, and I'll keep it up for next week. Other than that, have a good workout, and I will see y'all later.